Are you a professional pillow fighter? Or a 9-to-5 low-cost time travel agent? Or maybe real estate sales on Mars is your profession? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is you do, however complex or intricate, Monday.com can help you organize, orchestrate, and make it more efficient. Monday.com is the one centralized platform for everything work-related. And with Monday.com, work is just easier. Monday.com, for whatever you run. Go to Monday.com to learn more.
Auf mein Kopf. Hinter via Deckel muss es die kleine Fahrt im Kopf. Geht mir kein Sach nicht.
Welcome to Kill Me Now with Judy Gold. I am your host, Judy Gold, which is why I'm introducing the podcast. This week, we have part 2 of my conversation with Vanessa Rubio, who is talented, smart, and beautiful, and a New Jersey native. So, sit back, enjoy. Also, listen at the end because I'm going to tell you about my upcoming gigs. One at City Winery in New York City on March 10th that you need to attend, and an added show at the Raz Room in New Hope on March 13th because the show on the 12th sold out because I'm Judy Gold and it's all about me. So enjoy. So you went to NYU. Any other people in your class who are working who we know?
No, I didn't study acting at NYU. I studied history and art history. And I was like, I'm going to be a curator. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Art history is so hard.
Oh, I loved it. I remember I took one class and I was like, I have to do this. Have to. Yeah. So I'm a bit of an art nerd. I did try to work in the art world in New York, and
so you graduate and there's nothing in your head like, I want to be an actor, or a little bit. Yeah, totally. Something with movies. I was always trying to take as many classes as I could at Tisch. Right.
I was like hiding the fact that I was a CAS student, college varsity.
Right.
And I'm just like trying to hang out with these creatives. I was like, I want to be you.
Right.
And the 4 years zip by. I graduate and I'm working. I worked at the Guggenheim for a bit.
Wow. What'd you do there?
Yeah, I was like, it was such a weird position, Judy, of they were like, let's make a position where it's half security guard, but half educator. And they're in the galleries all the time.
Can I say something? When I go to a museum, okay, and I see there is a person in every room because, they don't want you defacing it or stealing it, whatever. And they stand there all fucking day long, all day long, looking at people looking at, like, is that what you had to do?
That's what I had to do.
Oh my God. I would, like, how many hours a day?
Oh, 8, 7, 6. And
you were standing the whole time?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope. It was a real eye opener.
How long did you do that for?
3 years. Honestly, I never got sick of the building. The building is so beautiful. It's endlessly inspiring. And there were a lot of points that I loved. Probably the low points are, standing all day. That's horrible. Nobody should have to do that.
Okay. So you get there in the morning. I just need to get into your head. You get there in the morning and they say, you're standing in this room today, or is it the same room all the time?
They give you shifts. So every 40 minutes you rotate. So you don't lose your mind.
And what were the other security / teacher people?
They were all, had their degrees in art or art therapy or whatever.
God.
We'd all really study up on whatever exhibit it was, the collection. And it was really interesting. I think they tried to do this initiative. I'm not even sure if the program still exists today, but we would have to engage with museum goers, and the conversation would have to be inquiry based. So whatever they said, we'd have to kind of form it into another question to sort of dig out their experience with the art piece. which led to some very interesting conversations.
So, but were you allowed to start the conversation, or they had to start the? Okay, so all right, let's do it. I'm standing there.
Oh my God.
And I'm staring at, I don't know, a piece.
So, by the way, I would go up to you.
You would?
I would. I'd be like, I'm going up to her, because I feel like just you would have interesting things to say, or if you like rebuffed me, it would be kind of funny and not that bad.
So do you think that this skill, like you would have to read people before you approach them, right?
Oh God,
you're like, that's the person I'm going to go talk to.
Oh, totally.
Like, what? Tell me something someone did that was so fucking, I hate people so much. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just coming up to you saying snide things like, "Hey, we're hardly working, or you're working at all."
Oh yeah, working hard or hardly working. Shut the fuck up.
I know, BS like that.
Did anyone ever ask you like a ridiculous like any dates out of it?
Oh sure, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would go up to a hot guy. And you would say, "Hey, I'm learning line painting. Would you like to pose for me in my
painting?" Yeah, actually, aside from that, museums used to be a really nice place to meet people.
Right.
Now I don't know. I haven't been to one in so long, but yeah, there was one guy I remember. He was a painter, and we looked at each other, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna go on a date with this guy."
You never talked to him. You just looked at him and said, "I'm going to date this guy." All right. And did you go up to him?
Yeah. Then afterwards we dated for a little bit. It didn't work out, but it was certainly a good place to meet people.
I can't believe it. So every 40 minutes you go into another room and you know everything about that exhibit and every painting in that room.
Yeah.
So you had to study on your own? Like, would they say, this is the exhibit that's coming in. You need to know all this shit about every one of these paintings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or sculptures or whatever.
Yeah. And if you didn't, of course you just BS it.
Did you ever have any, was it ever like Undercover Boss where someone would come in and say something to you and you'd be like, yeah, you painted that in Italy in 1864. And they're like, no, we didn't. It was Spain. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I wish that would have been fun, actually.
Okay. So you do that for 3 years. You're reading people, you're, standing there, which God bless that's a long time to have that job.
A long time. And I will say one story that's also kind of an alignment story. One of my supervisors, Murphy. Hey, Murphy.
Hey, Murph.
Hey, Murph. He comes up to me, this guy's, this was the time when people would burn each other DVDs and things like that.
Yeah.
And he's talking about movies he sees. And then he goes, I just saw the best movie. It's called Hot Tub Time Machine. You got to see it. And I'm like, I don't know what this guy's talking about. I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's like, I'll burn you a DVD copy. You have to watch it. He makes the effort. He burns me a DVD of this movie. I watch it. And I'm like, I've seen it once, but it's our same producers who produce Cobra Kai. And
are you fucking kidding?
No, I'm not. And Billy Zapka's in it. And they're in this hot tub time machine, which takes them into like the 80s again. But it's produced by the same our producers at Cobra Kai.
That is fucking crazy.
Crazy. And I'm just like, and I think back on that time and I'm like, why was he so adamant about me watching this movie and burn me a DVD of it? And that's,
Wait, so is this Murph?
This is Murph. Thanks, Murph.
Wait, do you still talk to Murph?
Social media, yeah.
Wow. Did you say, Murph, you're not going to fucking believe this? I'm working with the Hot Tub Time Machine. Yeah. And who the fuck makes a movie called Hot Tub Time Machine? What is it, like, that goes back in time and you see who's fucking getting whatever disease in your hot tub? What is it?
Exactly that. Exactly.
No way.
Yes.
It's like they goes back to the 80s and it's different people in the fucking hot tub.
It's like the hot tub is the time machine and Chevy Chase is in it.
Oh my God.
Oh. And it's so funny. I should actually watch it again just to kind of
That
see
is fucking
perspective.
How do you shift into performing from the standing in the Guggenheim?
Basically, I think I had to save my life, my sense of self-expression. I was just like,
Were you painting at this time? Did you have any creative outlet?
yeah, I did. I was taking classes at our Students League. I was, New York really forms.
Oh, yeah.
Me. Oh my God, schlepping those streets. And then I was just like, I came to a point where I was like, I just boiling over with a need for self-expression. And I'm like, you know what? If I don't try this acting thing, I'll regret it. I had a little morbid deathbed.
Right. Now,
And,
had people seen you and said, "Oh God, you have to be an actress. You're gorgeous, and you're 5'10", and you're gorgeous."
Occasionally, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that happened to me too. It's crazy.
Right.
I'm kidding. You're gigantic. What are you gonna do? You should be a comedian because you're funny and you're loud and tall. All right, go ahead. So, where do you take your first acting class?
American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I did a summer program. Auditioning, shaking like a leaf and all this stuff. But
what did you audition with?
Oh God, a monologue from Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Did you have a teacher? Like, did someone help you, or you were just like, I'm just gonna go on?
My boyfriend at the time, Ari. Hey, Ari. Ari was also like my creative, the best creative partnership I've had thus far. So
what happened with Ari? You're done with Ari?
No, you split up, and we're still friendly on
what
social media.
What does he do now? You and the fucking social media. Like, you don't have to be friends with anyone. All you have to do is send them like a DM. Hey, thinking about you. I want your life. Because I realized over this fucking pandemic, when I was away from people, when I was then would regather with them, I was like, you get on my fucking nerve. Like, I never realized how much you get on my nerves.
Absolutely.
And repeat the same thing over and over again and talk about yourself all the time. Like, you didn't notice before.
Yeah.
And now I hate everyone. Okay. So Ari kind of pushes you. He's like a mentor, whatever.
He's a painter. He's a fantastic painter. And yeah, we were just he definitely did mentor me creatively, because I was just like bursting at the seams,
Now, were your parents annoyed? Were they annoyed that you were dating a Jew?
No, not at all. They loved Ari.
Oh, okay, good. So, so you do this Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Are you fucking freaking the fuck out?
Yeah, but like with excitement, with joy, with.
Oh God, to be young again. Okay, you go in. This is your first audition of anything ever, right?
Ever, yep.
So you walk in the room. Like, what is that? Like, is there a bunch of people sitting there behind a desk, like judgerment?
No, I think it was just one person. And this was to get into this summer program.
Okay.
And yeah, I just went in there and did it. And
was it a man or a woman?
I believe it was a man.
Oh, wow.
And he was very respectful, thank God. And
not like in Fame, where it's like, take off your shirt. Remember that scene in Fame? She's like, I thought we were just take it off. Yeah. All right. So you do this monologue, and then do you remember what he said to you?
I don't remember what he said, but I know it was positive feedback. And I felt good about it. I felt, that's the thing. I think it was so exciting to me at the time because, and anytime, I'm a lover of the craft.
Right.
Because it allows you to feel alive fully.
Right. So you get into this program, and then do you start working immediately? Like, what happens?
Oh, God, no. God, no. I'm a pretty sensitive creature. So I bop around, going from studio to studio, looking for a home. And I spent a good chunk of time at Terry Schreiber's studio, and you know how it is. You barely have enough money for rent and classes, and you're just trying so hard. And
did you ever want to go to HB? That's where I went, HB Studios.
Oh, yeah. I took classes at HB, of course.
Loved HB Studios.
Loved HB.
Yeah.
it's like the mainstay. It's like,
Right.
that was the one. If I just had enough money and just enough time, I'd go to HB, they always have a class for me. Damn, geez, what precious days. But then eventually I stepped away from it because I started auditioning and I hated the process. I was
so you're going to these studios, you're taking classes. Yeah. Did you get an agent right away? Like, did you get representation immediately?
Absolutely no. I was hitting them streets. I was really just doing it all on my own.
And were you working while you were doing this?
Yeah, I was working while I was doing it. And then I kind of burnt myself out. The relationship with Ari was falling apart. And I said, you know what? I ran away from New York. I was like, I can't do New York anymore. It's spinning my wheels. It's driving me nuts. So I went into Providence, Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to take continuing ed courses at RISD.
Right.
Because I still had
great school.
And that was when I was doing art modeling, and I call them my gypsy days.
Right.
Because I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm living on the cheap and, just doing this. And then I really missed acting. And that was around 2012. And then I was just like, you know what? I have to go back to New York. I have to make it work. Things started to fall into place once I made the decision.
So how did you make money in Providence?
I was art modeling at all the colleges there.
All right.
I was hosting at restaurants.
So you were doing the starving artist.
Yeah, I was.
Which you can't really do anymore, which is so and live in New York City, which I was just talking about with my neighbor. It's like when I moved to New York in 84, the whole, I live on the Upper West Side. It was full of artists and all different kinds of artists. And yes, it was a little dangerous, but it had such personality. And now I can't. It's just rich people just I don't know. It's awful.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with a Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
You go to Providence, you decide, I'm taking these classes, I miss acting. You go back to New York?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
I go back to live with my parents.
Oh my God.
It was definitely times. I mean, looking back at it, I'm like, oh man, you really went through it. But I had to, and I discovered, power of your thoughts and all this stuff, and just kind of rocketed myself out of that situation. Just being more aware of, creating your life and your destiny and all this stuff. And it all worked out. But I will say that when I moved back to New York in 2012, it was like the universe did answer me back. It was like, yes, you're back, and here you go. Because in that first month back, I had gotten an agent, I'd gotten a manager, I booked a commercial, which got me my SAG card. So it all happened in like a span of a month.
Isn't that weird? Like you make a decision, you're like, you know what? And you go and boom, it's like, show me this was the fucking right decision to make. That it's just incredible. So are you still with the same agent?
I am.
So, I love that. That is so, it's so funny because whenever people, at award shows are like, I want to thank my agent of 47 and a half years, and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. But that also is something that doesn't happen anymore. So you find this agent and you get a commercial and you're working. And then how do you get Cobra Kai?
Well, I think it's a couple bit more years. That was around 2014. I was working working at restaurants, cocktail waitressing, whatever.
What restaurants did you work at?
Oh man, I worked at this restaurant at the bottom of the Dream Hotel downtown called Cherry. It's
Cherry.
now closed. It was a very trendy place. I
Yeah.
was a terrible waitress,
Uh-huh.
but I was very good with people.
Right.
And, going from that, I was like, oh God, I can't do food service anymore. I need to do something simpler and just devote all my time to what I need to focus on. So I was like, okay, cocktail waitressing, here we go. So I did that.
Did you have to wear like a short skirt and everything with the cocktail waitressing?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah, this is why I never could do any of that, because they'd be like, ugh, you know what? You can't wear that because the customers are going to leave. So we're going to make you, the host, and you have to wear a man's suit. No, go ahead.
That would actually be kind of cool, right? If there was a place that had women wear.
I know where women. I'm sure it's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually, I found my acting teacher, Alan Langdon. Love you. He's in New
Is he
York.
Jewish?
He is.
I knew it. Go ahead.
Love him forever. He's my guy, and he really did crack the, what shall I say, the awareness open
Right.
for me, acting wise. Then everything started to click in, and I was like, oh my God, I could actually do this.
Right.
And then I was not very comfortable. Who is comfortable still auditioning? But
I love it so much. Hate it.
You do.
I just hate it. I mean, it's so weird when you're auditioning because like you go in, do I say hi? Am I friendly? Like,
Right.
especially for me, it's like you want to be professional, but my normal personality is like to disarm them and be like, hey, yeah, I wanted to blah, 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 whatever. I'll do a joke and they'll be like, ugh, we don't want her on the set. It's like, it's just so weird when you walk in an audition. And sometimes, like when I auditioned for Woody Allen years ago, the first time I auditioned for him, they say, don't look at him, don't shake his hand, blah, blah, blah. And I walk in and they're like, here's your, they don't give you the material beforehand. They do not, they give it to you there and then you have to give it back to them because they don't want anyone seeing the material. And I walk in this room and he's in there and he's like, hey, how are you? Shakes my hand, looks at me. I'm like, what the fuck was this instruction where you can't look at him, you can't talk, So it's so weird auditioning. So did you audition for Cobra Kai?
I did. It was a self-tape. Kind of, thank God, right? I don't know.
Well, I know, yeah.
Certainly. At that point in my life, yeah, thank God. I was like just stressed out with other things. But yeah, auditioning is so weird. I agree with you. But it was a self-tape and it was one of the good ones. Sometimes, with self-tapes, when I started doing them, I'm like, are they even watching this?
Right.
It's you're living on such a prayer and a dream.
I know. And and the fact that you can redo it over and over and over and over and over and over until you find one, that's not the way the business was. You'd go in and you had your one fucking shot and you knew they liked you if they gave you direction. If they said, okay, great, try it this way. And then you were like, okay, they're seeing if I can act or I can take direction.
Right.
But now it's like, let's record this 5,000 times and pick the best one.
Totally. Yeah.
So you send in your tape or your agent sends in your tape. And when do you find out that you booked this thing? Did you have to, go into network? Did you have to do anything like that?
I didn't because it was booked at first as a recur, which I'm like divine timing. Everything happened for a reason. And at the time, like I told you, late 2017, my mother's sick. I'm not,
Right.
So I send in the self-tape. I record it at my agency around 44th Street, East Side. And I leave and I'm walking around 42nd Street on the East Side. And they were like, oh, they liked you. The producers liked you, but they want to know if you can do another tape just with more levity, like funnier. So I was like, okay. So I turn around, go right
now
back
When you say okay,
Mhm.
you're just like, oh, okay. You're not
Yeah.
like me where it's like, oh, fuck, I should have fucking done it. Like, fuck, I knew it. I knew. Like, you don't do any of that Jewish neurotic shit, right?
No,
Okay.
I think I would do that in the beginning, which is why I hated auditioning so much.
Right.
It became apparent to me. I'm like, listen, to myself, me talking to myself, I'm like, if you're going to do this all the time, you're not going to make, like, it's
Right.
not viable for you. Like, your mind won't be able to take it. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to have to make a conscious decision to do my best to let it go, which is an impossibility.
Right.
It's still impossible, but I just try to like throw away the sides or buy myself a cupcake afterwards, something. I think the fact that I was pretty fatigued just by life at that point, that I just didn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah. And that is the best way to do it. You're like, I don't fucking care. I'll just do it. And that is that's the only time you get a fucking job in this business where you're like, oh, fine. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So you go in, you do. And how soon after that second tape do you find out?
Pretty soon. And then it's like, okay, that was around October of 2017. They're like, all right, we need you in Atlanta on November. And you're just like, okay, let's do this.
So your mother knew that you were getting success before she passed, which thank God for that.
Thank God.
Did she get to see you on the screen?
She did. I mean,
Okay.
I booked a lot of commercials before Cobra Kai. And, when I first told my parents that I wanted to be an actor, they were just like, it was just like dead silence.
Right. Of course.
We sent you to this expensive school. We're still paying these loans. How do
Right.
And I had to, really take myself out of that. But once I got my agent and once I was booking commercials and they were like, oh my God, you're on TV. Like,
right. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Then they're like, we believe in it too. I was like, oh, okay. But she was so cute. We used to take Zumba class together. That was our ritual. And after the Zumba class, she'd always be like, this is my daughter. She's in the Crest commercial.
I love that.
Yeah. So I really appreciate that she got to see some of that success, but she didn't get to see Cobra Kai.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she's in Cobra Kai. So.
Basically.
So you're a recur. Now for the listeners, recur, like you get guest star and then you get recur, which means you're on 2 or more episodes, you're recurring, but recur, you can call yourself a recur if you're on 2, but it's pushing it. So you're a recur, and it's not all the time that recurs become series regulars. I mean, it's the dream of the recur to become a series regular, but you had no idea when you were recurring that you were going to become a series regular. Is that correct?
Yeah, no idea.
How did they tell you, and how fucking happy were you?
It was pretty sudden. It was around Christmas time, 2020. And
What a great year that was too.
Yeah, really great. But I found out through my manager. I guess they contacted her and we were both like, oh, like, what do we do now? Like, we were just like, ooh. So we had to, work that out quickly.
Yeah, renegotiate.
I mean, honestly, it was about time. After season 3, I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to check out other options if this series regular doesn't come through. Because, it was at the point where I was like, yeah, it's pushing it. I'm in
a lot of episodes.
And,
right.
Still not a recur. So I was checking out other options for sure. And then when that offer came through, we had to re-strategize, re-game plan.
The kid that plays your son, who is adorable, what kind of relationship do you guys have?
Cholo's amazing. He's just a good kid. He's just a good, a light, he's just lighthearted, down to earth, funny as hell. And I always say, almost like a Cholo, I think I booked this role because we have the same jawline.
Oh, yeah.
So
you've said that you love playing Latin A, whatever the fuck. You've loved, playing this character and it not being a stereotypical Latin What am I supposed to say? Latinx, Latina? What am I supposed to fucking say?
You can say Latinx.
All right. What do you think the effect that is? First of all, I mean, you probably have other actors who are Latin A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, who are completely jealous of you, or more like, oh, I wish I could play. Do you think this will have an effect, perhaps, on, because you're very small percentage. People don't realize.
Yeah. Of on-screen representation.
Yeah, your on-screen is very
like 5%.
Right. 5%.
And then I think like the statistic is like half of the 5 is like speaking roles.
Right. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This week's episode of It's Judy Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and you know, sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself, you can process, and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, you know, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do it, and you sit there and you wait, and then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome. First of all, I really want to know how I feel so bad that your mother died while Trump was president. I mean, I don't know what their politics were, but I just feel bad that, like, I am like divine intervention that my mother died before Trump became president. I mean, it must be so fucking hard, you know, the child of immigrants and listening to this fucking shit all the time. Like,
oh, it's awful.
Have you experienced a lot of sort of anti-immigrant stuff in the past few years? I mean, I've definitely experienced a lot more anti-Semitism.
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, well, I'm also Afro-Latino.
Right.
I'm quarter Black. My family's entirely mixed. My mother's parents, my grandfather was Black Colombian and my grandmother's white Colombian. And, you know, when did they get married? I guess in the 40s.
Oh, God, that must have been.
In Colombia.
Yeah.
But you know what? They were such a meant to be couple.
Right.
That I really feel like they were kind of like that couple. They made a movie about the Lovings.
Yes, the Loving. Yes.
Yeah, they were just like, we love each other.
And fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the fact that was even a law is so disgusting. Like, it's so fucking disgusting. So you're Afro Latina, which is why you're so fucking gorgeous. I, being 99.8% Ashkenazi Jew, inbred, I do not have the features of Vanessa Rubio. Okay?
That's one of my favorites, Ashkenazi.
You like that?
It's a great word. I love
Ashkenazi.
Ashkenazi.
Okay. So I ask my guests all of my guests 2 questions, which I really, and first of all, I wish you are delightful. I hope you just work forever. Is your agent Buchwald?
Mm-hmm.
I knew it because you said 44th Street. You know why? Because when I was in college at Rutgers, I was an intern at Buchwald.
No way.
Yes.
Me too. I'm always wondering about that. How did they treat you? How was your experience?
Well, I worked there for Ricky Olshan.
There.
Oh my God. Will you say hello to her?
Yeah, of course.
I loved her. Yeah, I was there and I was just like a college senior. You know, I'm 20 years old, 21. I don't know. I would come in I forgot, I think it was Fridays, and I would work in the office. And you know what we did? They would do submissions for, for their clients to go in to audition for things. And there was no computer. So I would go in the filing cabinet, pull out the photo, then the resume, then staple the photo to the resume, and then do a cover letter. These are all the people for this role. Put it in an envelope and send that out, and then do the next role and pick out the photo. And there was just, the whole office was full of filing cabinets of photos and resumes. But yeah, when you said I was walking around 44th Street and 40s, I was like, oh, she's probably with Buchwald. I have such memories about walking over there. First of all, you're so young and beautiful, and you've already become a series regular on a Netflix. You're fucking great. What are your goals? Like, what do you need? What do you want after this? Like, where do you want to go to?
What do you need? Well, thank you. I have to, we have a lovely show and a lovely on-screen family dynamic. I just hope that the next show that I book has some of that same elements and some of those same elements.
Right.
Yeah, I think I need to open up my creative self more. And I was just saying that because I meditate, and I was meditating. I squeezed in a little meditation before.
Nice.
I procrastinated on it, Judy. And I was like,
I know it's the worst because then you think about it all day. I didn't meditate.
Yes.
I didn't meditate.
Yes,
you have to meditate. What kind of meditation do you do?
I do guided meditation with Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Oh, I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, look him up. I previously to that would just do mindfulness, 20 minutes. But I really enjoy the guided ones.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they're good. And I was just saying to myself, you know what came to me during the meditation, I'm going to say yes to my heart more.
Say yes to your heart more. Oh, that's good. I'm writing this down, Joe Dispenza. Okay.
So I think it has to stem from that for me. I need to say yes to my heart more, yes to my creativity more, write more, paint more.
Right. You got to let those creative, when I'm writing and doing other things that are artistic or feeding my art, my need for that creativity, I get work. It's so fucking weird. Just doing something. Yeah.
You're letting off like happy pheromones or something. Yeah, because you're a musician too, right?
I play piano. Yeah.
And the clarinet.
How did you know?
I was listening to your podcast.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was studying up.
Oh, you're such a good girl. You are such a nerd. I love you.
I am a nerd.
Okay. So your father lives in Florida. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Say hello to Luis. I love Florida, but it's not. I'm not a fan of the DeSantis or the Rubio. You're the only Rubio I'm a fan of. Okay. So I asked my podcast guests 2 questions. First of all, I think you already answered, but what do you do for your mental health? Because we're pro mental health, because I have so much fucking anxiety, depression, and like my fingers are so, look at this. I have to wear Band-Aids today because I was so anxious. I was picking my fingers.
Oh boy.
I know, it's bad.
I used to pick at my fingers. It started again. I'm in the middle of looking for an apartment. So
yeah, isn't it weird? And each finger for me is like, this is work. This is the kids. This is traveling. It's like I pick a finger and until it please. All right. So what do you do for your mental health?
Oh boy, meditate for sure. But that's got to be probably number one. I exercise.
Same.
Geez.
Peloton. Right there.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like I have to keep track of like, as a woman, like my cycle.
Oh God, Elisa used to do that. She had a piece of fucking paper and she would like literally the day and then how heavy it was. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you going to do with that? And now she's in menopause. Well, we're done, so we don't have to do it anymore. But yes, she had a little paper.
I feel like it gives me a sense of where I am mentally. I'm like,
right.
This week is when I usually am more sensitive. And then this week is when I really want to work out.
Right.
So, I have to be aware of that. Awareness helps.
Yes.
Journaling. I've always been a journaler.
Wow.
So much better. And I did during the pandemic, near the end of the pandemic, I did The Artist Way, Oh,
yeah, that book. Yeah. You did the whole book?
I did. I had to do it with a group of people to keep me accountable.
Yeah. And what happened after you did that book? Because I started that book and then I was like, nah.
Yeah.
30 years ago, but.
Right. I started it like 10 years ago and then just completed it last year. It's like, it's an opener. It certainly is. I'll do it again. And it's built on the premise, I'm sure you know, that the morning page is the 3 handwritten pages in the morning.
Right.
It's kind of like a writing meditation, but it also helps you dig into what's going on in your mind.
Right.
And be okay with it. Cause it's like, she encourages, just letting the shit out,
Right. You have to let it out or it festers. It uncle festers.
Nobody wants an uncle fester.
No. All right. Final question, which I know is going to be hard for you, but maybe not. I call the podcast Kill Me Now because everything gets on my fucking nerves. And I'm always like, oh my God, kill me now. So what pisses you off and makes you fucking crazy angry?
Oh God.
It could be anything that fucking makes you.
You know what? What'll take me like 0 to 60 is when a guy in the street will be like, hey, smile. And this used to happen more before.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Hey, smile. Like I'm your little fucking little doll and go fuck yourself.
I know, like nothing makes me want to punch somebody more than that, I think. And it's funny, like.
Oh my God, I'm so mad right now.
Some people aren't bothered by it. And I'm like, I'm bothered by that.
No, I would be bothered by that. And who the fuck are you to tell me to smile? Maybe something horrible just happened to me, you fucking asshole. And I'm not here for your viewing pleasure, you piece of shit.
Right.
It's so objectifying. Fuck him. I hate him.
I know. That guy.
Ugh. No one ever says that to me. Straight. If I am smiling, they go, why are you smiling? Oh God. All right.
People who are just mean to, I don't know, animals and.
Oh
kids.
yeah, I can't. But in the same token, I can't with the fucking freezing animal commercial with Sarah McLachlan. I can't do it. It's like I'm watching TV and it's like. And I'm like, no, I can't. I have to change the channel. I literally will leave the room. And the commercial is like a half an hour fucking long. Yeah. And then you go back in, you look, and you're like, oh my God, there's the dog with the fucking snow all over it, looking at me like, please help me. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
Vanessa, you are a delight. I can't thank you enough for being on my podcast because I know you're busy.
For having me. I was a little insecure about being here.
Oh my God, you're the best. Has your brother gone to the set?
No, but I need to. That
you
needs to
have
happen.
To bring him since he was like the big Karate Kid fan.
It needs to happen. These past 2 seasons we shot were a little weird with COVID.
I know. Horrible.
But yeah, the next one is like, hey, it's now or never, bro. Gotta come.
Do you think he can fix my car that got hit on the FDR Drive?
Probably, yeah.
All right. I can
use, take it to Jersey.
Yeah, I can use my friends and family discount.
Totally.
Right? Yeah. Vanessa, you are delightful. The show, you're really great on the show. And I just love that. I love knowing that, you're really your mom, like, that your mom is there on set with you. I just love that. And I just wish you all the best. And you're so fucking hot. I can't take it. It's not fair.
I'll take it.
You can take it.
Compliment. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've had hard to receive compliments, so now I'm like, yeah, you know what? Thank you.
You take that. You take
I'm
that.
gonna take it.
Whoa. All power to you. So where can people find you on socials?
I'm pretty active on Instagram.
Mhm.
Very Venus, spelled like
Very Venus.
Very Venus. You know, because
Okay.
I'm down with the divine feminine.
I hear ya.
You know, so yeah, that's Very Venus, spelled like the word very, the letter V, Ness. And I'm
Okay.
mostly active on that. Twitter, I dip my head in a little bit, but it drives me.
It's just annoying. It's just like, ugh.
Too many
Twitter.
scrolls.
I mean, I it's so hard because it's just gonna make you aggravated. Like you get on,
Right.
you're like, what happened? Oh, yeah. I hear you.
Exactly. That's about it.
All right. Well, watch Cobra Kai simply for Vanessa because she's fucking great. And the show, I mean, what a great idea for a show to go back to this film and, and I'm just so happy for you. And keep painting and doing your art.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, very important.
Thank you so much for listening to part 2 of Kill Me Now with the beautiful, talented, and Garden State native Vanessa Rubio. Kill Me Now is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling. This podcast would not be possible without the help of Brittany Jo Sowards. Actually, I wouldn't be possible without the help of Brittany Jo Sowards. If you have not subscribed or left a review, I hate you. Seriously, subscribe and leave a 5-star review. It's very important. It's important to keep this show moving and going and continuing. So 5 stars. 5 stars. If you haven't purchased my book, yes, I can say that when the Come for the Comedians We're All in Trouble, you suck. I mean, I know it came out in 2020 in July, so it's a year and a half old. But still, it's a good gift. Please go to my website, judygold.com, spelled the normal way, Judygold. Just so you know, I wrote on season 5 of Better Things, which premieres Monday, February 28th. Know that I was a part of that fantastic show and thrilled about it. I will be at City Winery. That's City Winery in New York City, March 10th. I will be at the Raz Room in New Hope, March 12th, which is sold out, and an added show on the 13th, which is Sunday at 6 o'clock. So get there. The fucking Super Bowl's over. No more football. I'm also going to be at the Raz Room at the Savour Theater, March 26th. That is in Fort Lauderdale. So get your asses there. So a lot of stuff coming up. I just want to say, keep doing the right thing. Keep wearing the mask in a public place. Because here's the deal. I don't want there to be another fucking, what are they called? Variant. I don't want another variant. And I was like, and I'm getting like, oh, I don't feel like wearing a mask anymore. But I really don't. Elisa and I have not gotten COVID. Poo. And we don't want to get it. But Elisa did have a sore throat and had to take antibiotics. But that's a whole other situation. So stay safe. Speak out. Please speak out against racism and anti-Semitism because it's running rampant and I'm sick of it. Do you understand? I'm sick of it. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Judy Gold, JEWDYGOLD. I'm going to be doing more shooting the shits. And Elisa will be filming them. She doesn't know that right now, but I just told her because she's in the room. We're in a hotel room. It's so exciting. Anyway, I can't thank you all so much for listening. I was at Zabar's and a man stopped me who was a soap opera director. And he said that he had directed me in As the World Turns like 400 years ago and that he loves the podcast. And it made my fucking day. Because, you don't get a lot of feedback from the podcast because it's you talking into a microphone. But we have some amazing guests coming up. You're going to be really, really excited. So thank you so much for listening. And I can't wait till winter's over. It fucking sucks. And as we always say, so long.